Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, April 13th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Glad to have you with us tonight. We begin in Annapolis. Now, leaders of both Maryland chambers say they were blindsided by Governor Larry Hogan over the weekend when he vowed not to fully fund some educational initiatives. The news came just days before the end of the 2015 General Assembly session. Hogan's plan only restores 75% of a fund that goes to jurisdictions where education costs more, which includes Prince George's County. This morning, Senate President Mike Miller and House Speaker Michael Bush voiced their discontent over the governor's plan.
And this budget was passed unanimously by all 47 senators, 32 Democrats, 15 members of the Republican Party, and I was singing the age of Aquarius. Everything's wonderful. You know, it's a victory for the House, victory for the Senate, victory for the governor. And then Friday, you know, without notice, we were told that, you know, the governor wants to take $75 million off the table, which totally disrupts the plan that we've worked so hard to pass.
We have a military retirement bill that was not an initiative of the House or the Senate. It is on third reading for passage. We have a repeal of the rain tax that the governor wanted, stormwater management plan on the desk to be passed into law. This should be a point where all sides come together and declare that they did what was in the best interest of the citizens of the state through a democratic process.
We found a way to fund education. We found a way to fund the most vulnerable Marylanders, folks in nursing homes, DDA, people with disabilities, and the families that are struggling with those kinds of issues. And we found ways to ensure that our state workers would not have a reduction in pay July 1st. So that's what we're waiting on from the governor of Maryland.
The governor's plan also does not fully fund health programs as much as Democrats wanted. Instead, it restores $75 million and an extra pension payment that Democrats had planned for other budget purposes. Now, Hogan has said that he will call a special session if a budget deal is not reached. This evening, lawmakers and progressive advocates plan to rally on Lawyers Mall to speak out against the governor's proposal and what they say are his attempts to circumvent the legislature. Well, several Prince George's lawmakers say the county has fared well so far during this legislative session. Senator Paul Pinsky says his main concern is passing the education budget in its entirety.
We've generally done okay, but there's still a couple chapters to be written in this book. There's no final decision on the GCEI, which is education funding. The last offer from the governor was 75%. It's unclear whether he's still at 75% or we can get it to 100%. The way it works is that we can actually adopt a budget and not know how much he's going to fund on GCEI because that's in his hands. So he can do a supplemental budget. So again, we don't know how much of a hole we're going to have to fill. So that's still a problem.
Senator Victor Ramirez says he's pleased that other legislation has been given the green light.
We're finally going to pass some standards for body-worn cameras. It's a necessity. It benefits both law enforcement and our residents. It helps to build the trust. And I think especially in Prince George's County where we've had several incidents recently that have not put the best light on our law enforcement. We know they have a tough job, and we just want to make sure that there's a bridge between our residents and law enforcement, and having body-worn cameras and setting the standards for when they can turn them on and turn them off. I think it's going to go a long way.
And Sine Die, the last day of the General Assembly session ends tonight at the strike of midnight. Meantime, many civil rights groups are hopeful that a series of bills dealing with criminal records will make their way out of the legislature this evening. One of those measures would restore voting rights to more than 40,000 Marylanders. Another would shield certain criminal records from public view, and a third would expunge a violation that is no longer a crime. All have passed both chambers, but differences must still be worked out.
While we're thrilled that the legislation has successfully cleared both chambers, the Job Opportunities Task Force and the advocates do prefer the Senate version. Given the small number of offenses that are eligible for shielding, we want to ensure that as many Marylanders are able to benefit from shielding, and in its current posture, the Senate bill allows that. So we're hoping, it's the last day of session, we have until midnight, we're really hoping that whatever comes out by midnight is a form that's, that would benefit most Marylanders. And we hope that that includes being able to shield eligible convictions in multiple counties.
And Governor Hogan has expressed his support of the Second Chance bill, but has not voiced a commitment to restoring voting rights to those who have criminal records.
And after much anticipation, former First Lady and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says she will run for president for the second time. Now, Clinton made the announcement in a short video yesterday. The 67-year-old told supporters, quote, "Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion."
I'm hitting the road to earn your vote because it's your time, and I hope you'll join me on this journey.
Just minutes after her announcement, she received her first endorsement from Maryland Senator Barbara Mikulski. Meantime, former Governor Martin O'Malley says he will announce his decision about whether to run for president by late May. O'Malley has been traveling and speaking to groups in Iowa. A Quinnipiac University poll in February found that 84% of Democrats don't know enough about O'Malley to fully form an opinion. And a Supreme Court decision this spring could mean that Maryland is on the hook for as much as $200 million in refunds and significant revenue cuts. According to the Washington Post, a case brought by a Howard County couple claims that a provision of the state's income tax law is unconstitutional. The plaintiffs argue that it forced them to pay both their county and state where the revenue was earned. Currently, residents are denied a full credit for taxes paid on income earned outside of Maryland, while many other states allow it. Maryland officials argue that states have a historic right to tax the income of residents, no matter where that cash is earned. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Valone.